Hey y'all, it's your Thrifty Practitioner Tara. How are you guys doing? I hope this video finds you well and in your day. Hope you're having a pretty decent day, whether you're just getting up, you're at work and it's lunchtime, or you are heading home or about to go to bed. Either way, I hope this video finds you well. As you know, in the prior video, I discussed my 5 reasons why I budget. That is part of my pre-planning process when it comes to actually setting up my budget for the next year. I know that it sounds weird to pre-plan. It's like, isn't that what a budget is for? It is. But sometimes the pre-planning process helps you identify or remember why you're budgeting, maybe also understanding some of the things that have occurred throughout the current year that are going to affect the next year or some of your goals for next year. So what I do is I actually pre-plan some of the financial part as well. So what I have is this little thingy right here. Okay, so yes, y'all, look at that. I am working on my, actually I have it already together. It's my own budget planner. So for this is my budget pre-plan. And the best way to describe this, and I'm going to take this other thing out from up under it so you don't see all these other squares. I'm like, what's that? All right, so basically the budget pre-plan is you use this page to help identify financial changes you anticipate will affect the upcoming budget year. Okay, this will include items such as an increase or decrease in current income, increase or decrease in expenses, addition of a new income or expense, or expected leave. So things like that. Now, this isn't the catch-all, but this gets you thinking about, hey, how is my next year going to change and how is that going to affect my budgeting process? So I decided to get on here and I'm going to show you what the pre-planning phase of this is for me. I have the 4 categories. Let me go back around here. I apologize. I have the 4 categories. My income changes, my expense changes, saving and debt changes, and earning potential or disruption. So once again, the disruption is going to be like, if you know you have an expected, say you know you're going to be taking a maternity leave, you put that down there because you have to identify how is that going to affect me, where you put up here loss of income for 3 months. Say you are going to have, you're going on short-term disability, okay? And you're doing this because you have a surgery and you're going to be out for a while. Okay, once again, what is that? It's a disruption in your earning potential. So you're going to put that there. I know I have a surgery coming up in May, and it's going to, the income change, it's going to reduce my income by however much the short-term disability does not cover. So those are kind of like the things that you're looking at. As far as expenses, I have a big one coming again next year, so I'm not looking forward to it. And that is really going to change some things in how I do stuff. So this, once again, is like the pre-planning phase before I actually get to identifying my debts and sinking funds and my budget categories and stuff like that. Because once again, this here is going to affect all that stuff that I'm doing. So let me go ahead, let me get started. I have two Sharpies here. One, I'll put it like this. The black is for the things that are positive changes, and the red is going to be for things that are the negative changes. And this is this is going to be interesting. I am doing this in pen. I would suggest doing it in pencil because you will write down and erase. It is not a thing like this will be like a 15-minute video, but actually this really took me possibly about 3 weeks to identify these changes because one, I had to wait till I got paid to understand how it's going to affect me next year. In addition, in that time, there's a couple of other things that occurred. So it may take a little while before you get to this point. However, it is a point that you get to that you're like, okay, I have to at least identify the things that I know. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to start off just with the negative because it's more negative for me than it is positive. It sucks. And so once again, this is year 2025. I have some income changes. My first thing is, and I've said it before, my income, my personal income is decreased by $2,400 per month in income. Okay. Because my debt is paid off, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, my debt is paid off. How much were my debt payments monthly? What is the true effect of this $2,400 decrease? Well, my debt payments were $1,000. So actually, I have a net effect of $1,400. So I have an actual $1,400 loss in income each month. And I'm like, I'm going to scoot this a little bit, guys, because I'm hitting up against this recorder, so I'm sorry. So that's not as bad, because in a prior video, I think it was yesterday, in the prior video, I had said, hey, it's going to be a little difficult for me to be able to, get this type of money back. I can work, but I'm not going to make up $2,400 a month. But a $1,400 a month loss is a lot easier to be able to make up. Okay. The other thing that I just found out yesterday as I was doing this is that as of 1/1/25, I will no longer receive the $1,400 distribution I'd been getting monthly. This is crazy, because this is what happens when you actually rely on something, or you become reliant on something. And that's what happened here. Is I became a little too comfortable with getting this distribution as I was paying off my debt. And I had a conversation, just real life. I had a conversation with my husband yesterday, and he was kind of like, hey, look, this is what has occurred in my accounts as a result of carrying a lot of the other stuff and us paying for that residential situation that occurred. So he wants to take the opportunity to build back up his emergency fund without feeling the stress of having to take care of stuff. So this money is now going to be going into the house account. So it is going to cover the bills. And yeah, yay. So as a result of this $1,400 distribution, no longer, I won't be receiving it. I have to make some changes over here in my savings. Okay. And so what happens is that the first thing it is going to do is I'm just going to stop the month ahead sinking fund. Because that was $722 per month that was going into that sinking fund, into my month ahead. It was 1 week. I was doing 1 week a month. And so the reason I'm going to stop this is because actually this distribution money was going towards that. So instead, like I said, this distribution money is going to be going towards re-upping a different fund that my husband has. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have to stop that. I don't know. How can I say this? It's kind of crazy, because we do have at least probably about 8 to 9 months of our expenses. We run, although we pay our bills for that month, we already have an emergency fund that covers up to about 8 to 9 months. I wanted to get up to a year. That was my goal. My goal that I had to change my goal now was to do 1 week, 1 week a month for the whole year. That way I could go ahead and get us up to a year in expenses covered. So right now, because that's gone, it's not going to occur, and I don't know when it'll pick back up. And so what that also does is I will not be funding some of the sinking funds. And one of them being the main one being my granddaughter's cheer. So I was going to do my granddaughter's cheer for 2025. I was going to get some money together for my to help my daughter with my granddaughter's cheer, and that's just not going to happen now. I will be saving, but it's going to be for 2026. So that's the difference between being able to save in a 6-month period compared to saving in a 12. Actually, it's going to be an 18-month period, because I'm going to start next in January and save, because the fees will be due in May of 2026. So I have about 18 months, whatever that is. So about 18 months. If not, whatever. I have a longer time than the short time span I was going to do to help out with 2025. The great thing is that, I did that little savings book for my grandkids for Christmas. And so my daughter knows that, hey, I have that money. Well, she has that money for my granddaughter's cheer. So it'll just be a matter of whatever I can do at that time to help her out is good. But I had wanted to give a considerable amount, and now I'm not going to be able to do that. Is what it is. Okay. And so then that also is going to require me to adjust and prioritize or reprioritize just, sinking fund and debt payments. So debt and sinking fund payments or savings. Let me put payment here. Isn't that crazy how that little bit of change makes that big of a difference? Or actually, it's really a big, for me, it's a $2,800 change. So it went from $2,400 to $2,800. Bless my heart. Makes a big of a difference. If I still had this money, I could have covered majority of this. But, I'll try, and I'll just have to figure it out. Okay, so the last thing, which is big, that is in the red, is expenses. And so this is going to be a big change. Now, y'all know last year we had a child that we sent to a residential. Okay, so we just, this is a budgeting channel, so I won't be talking about a lot of the other personal stuff, but we do have 2 children with behavioral issues. And as a result of these issues, it costs us to be able to do certain things if we are trying to assist them with getting those behaviors under control. It is not something that regular therapy can do, because it's not daily that you can take people to therapy. It's not intense therapy. And so these residential facilities, they are therapeutic, and it helps them with these behaviors that they have. The outcome for the older child that we sent, it actually has been better. So that's good. It's really good. And the little one was supposed to go, but he wasn't old enough. He's going to be old enough come March. Come May. And old enough is 13 years old. So what that means is, guess what expense we're going to have again? We're going to have a residential expense again. Okay, and I'm estimating, that's what the squiggly line is for, $8,000. Okay, of this amount, hold on, 1917 plus 650. Of this amount, my responsibility is $2,567. And this is going to start 5/1/25. So, Lord, how I'm going to do this is, you guys are going to see, because there was a positive, but now there's a negative. So this is going to be handled by 650 of my regular income and a 1917 payment that I would be making starting this month to somewhere else, but it's going to get diverted unless something changes. So let's go over that. So these are the little positives I have in my budget pre-plan. So at least the one positive that I have so far is that, I will be giving $9.56 per pay. Is it $9.56? Yeah, $9.56. Actually, it's $9.59. $9.59 per pay will be applied to my principal, to mortgage principal. Okay. So that's nice. That's nice. Okay. And so this actually is starting this month. This is starting this month, but it does affect next year. Okay. And so that comes out to be a little roughly around about this. So that's why I said it's only going to occur for at least 4 months and then it goes here unless something happens, something changes. And we are looking into other avenues because for him, due to his behaviors being differently, we were able to find other resources and they're trying to help us get grants. But the problem with being high income earners is, y'all, you get penalized for so much. It's just crazy. And penalized means it's harder for you to get help because you're supposed to have the money to help. However, it also ties into other money or you have to do other things in order to get it. And the reason why I am paying into this now, one, my debt's paid off, and two, my husband had like I said, he had to get extra contracts last time, and it was difficult for him. So he doesn't want to do that again. He does not want to work that hard. And I totally understand. We're older. He doesn't want to work that hard. I totally understand. So then the next thing that is going to be positive, and I know y'all gonna be like, how are you gonna do this? I don't know, but it's gonna happen. I'm starting a splurge fund. And I did purchase a savings challenge book that I'm going to use for this. Although it is sectioned out into all these different sections, it's still nice that I'm going to use that money all together for part of 2025 and 2026. Okay, it just depends. So what's going to happen with my earning potential? That's all I have left, y'all. I have nothing positive really in income changes because there's no definite. There's no definite in my income changes that I can actually write down here and put that down so I can budget for it. As far as expense changes, bless my heart, there's nothing. There's nothing. I have no other than the only thing that's going to happen when I pay on the mortgage is that my interest rate will probably go down. That's about it. But there's no changes in our expenses. We are already bare bone minimal on a lot of things, and there's just no changes in those expenses. So this is going to be fun setting my SMART goals and actually setting up my sinking funds and stuff. It's bless my heart. Now, potential. I have some earning potential. And the first one is productivity bonus. It's not guaranteed, but it's a potential. And I'm not going to, it will not be budgeted. I'm just going to consider it a windfall when it occurs, if it occurs, when it occurs. But I have the opportunity to get a productivity bonus, and it's a nice bonus. So I'm going to be working my MA to death. We're going to be calling people. We are most definitely going to be calling people when they don't show up, but it is a productivity bonus. So we'll see. And it's paid out. It's going to be paid out in, I think it's like May. I think I do qualify for the May one. May, July, and November. And I'm at least trying to make the minimum. And the minimum is $1,500. So I put that, I don't have my whiteout, y'all. I'm not going to go get it. So possible. Yeah, that's not without taxes, but you know what? Hey, so $1,500 is possible. So we'll see. Now, my second thing that I have is I am looking for a PRN position that I can work about 4 days a month. And that'll get me at least about $1,200. So, well, it'll be between $1,200 and about $1,800. Okay, So I do have that potential. Okay. So this is what a pre-plan is. This is what my budget pre-plan is. It identifies those things that I have to take into consideration when budgeting. And like I said, this is just a potential. I don't want to sit and say that is most definitely going to occur, because I don't know. I don't know if it's going to occur. Like I said, I really don't want to work, but when I look at I have to pay out this much money, this part I'm already paying, the $19.17, the $650 is going to be in addition to that come May. So that means I'm going to have to adjust sinking funds again. So it's going to be a little weird. It's going to be weird. All right, guys. I hope you have the opportunity to sit down, do a budget pre-plan. It really does help. Don't forget, also identify your reasons why you budget. You identify your reasons, you get your pre-plan in, and all this stuff goes into setting up your budget for the next year. Setting up your budget isn't just about getting the prettiest planner that's out there. It literally is identifying those things that are going to affect you financially in the next year, and how to actually work towards mitigating those, either mainly the losses is what I'm going to say, mitigating those losses, how to be able to navigate through that so that you don't have a stressful financial year and that you can come out on top. So guys, if you like this type of content, don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on those notification bells. I'm going to see you in my next video.